Hey guys, this is Champion 2D Rob back again with another video guys, and this video is going to be all of my PlayStation pickups. So that includes PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So this is the Sony Pony edition, all the games I've picked up in the last few months. It's been a bit of a delay from doing this, so it's kind of built up a little bit. But recently I have been getting into the PlayStation 5. Most of you know that I picked up a PS5 about a year ago, but I never hooked it up until very recently. There's reasons for that. I'm not going to get into it, but I've decided to finally just unpack it and play it now. But currently I've only been playing PlayStation 4 games. I recently got done playing Days Gone. This is the game I've been playing on the PS5 because of an update. Just finished playing it. I love this game, so much fun. So very happy to get a chance to actually play this on the PS5 and see what improvements were done to it. Wasn't perfect, but still a lot smoother. Definitely looked nicer. So yeah, happy to have given that one a go. So yeah, so I've been picking up a few games. For the last few months now, but I'm going to start with the PlayStation 3 game that I picked up. And the reason why I picked this game up was because before I opened up my PS5, I'd actually been playing a lot of PS3. And while I was playing games on that system, I was just reminded that I hadn't picked this game up, and this was actually a game that I was after. I actually hesitated on it. I missed out on it when it came out originally. I wasn't too sure if it was going to be my game. But it just kept bugging me, and I wanted it, and I guess I kind of missed my opportunity to get it cheap at CEX, and the price eventually sort of went up on it. So I kind of decided not to buy it in the end. But as I was been playing the PS3 in recent times, it's just been nagging me to pick it up. So I was able to go on eBay, and I got it for a decent price, and I'm very happy to get it. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I know this is a game that is got a lot of quick time events. It's an action title, and it's a game from Capcom. But I've always just found this game very curious to play. I have played the demo of it, and I quite liked it. It's just quite a quirky game, but it just really appeals to me. And the game I'm talking about is Soras Wrath. So this is like a 3D action beat 'em up game with like a lot of quick time events and stuff like that. So I hear it's a bit of a Marmite game, but from the footage that I've seen, it definitely was something that just appealed to me. So yeah, I'm glad to finally get it, and it just looks crazy. It just reminds me of like those games like God Hand and stuff like that. Just it's sort of like obscure games that most people didn't buy at the time, just sort of overlooked it. So yeah, so that is what I got for the PlayStation 3. Moving on to some PlayStation 4 pickups here. Yeah, I just got some cool titles here. I think I'll start with this one, and I picked up DMC, Devil May Cry. So this was the Devil May Cry remake or reboot that wasn't very successful. The reason why I picked it up is because I played the demo of this and I actually very much enjoyed it. I know a lot of people were hating on this game because they didn't like that they changed the look of Dante and stuff like that. And I get that, you know, I totally get it. But I was open to giving this game a go, as it was developed by, I believe it was Ninja Theory. And they've put out some decent games. So I wanted to see what their take of Devil May Cry was. And like I say, I played the demo of it. I actually quite enjoyed it. So I thought I'd pick it up while it was cheap. So yeah, I've got that. Next game I have here, and this is a game I was so happy when they announced it, and that is King of Fighters 13. I also picked it up for the Switch as well, but I'll save that for the Switch video. But yeah, this is an awesome game. This is one of my favourite King of Fighters titles, because this was actually the last game that used 2D hand-drawn sprites before they made the shift to more of using 3D assets. And I love this game. It's visually, it's just beautiful. It really is. And it's less of a sequel to 12 and more of an update to 12, because the King of Fighters 12 was an awesome game, but it was quite bare bones and it didn't have a large roster because the characters are so detailed that it took a long time for the developers to create a larger roster. So instead of just doing an update for 12, they released 13 with just a larger roster, I believe a story mode and other things, because the initial game, like I say, was pretty bare bones. So I was so happy when they announced that this was getting a release for PS4, PS5 and the Switch. So yeah, really chuffed to get this one. This is an awesome one to get. And this is a limited run game that I got, and that is Garfields Remastered. As you can just about see here in the back, I got the Ultimate Edition for the Switch. I will talk about that in my Switch video. But yeah, if anyone's been watching my channel for a certain amount of time will know that I'm a big fan of the Gargoyles cartoon series that came out in the early 90s. I still watch it to this day. You can watch it on Disney+. And this is basically a remastered version of the Genesis game. And I say Genesis because it never came out in Europe. It was an American exclusive. I do own it though. I actually do own a copy of it for the Genesis. But it's great to see it get re-released. This is not a game I ever thought would get a re-release on modern consoles, but here we are. This is an action platformer. And essentially what they've done is they've basically redrawn the graphics and sort of also rebalanced the game a little bit, because the original game is actually very hard. But what's cool about this one is that you can actually, by pressing a button, you can actually revert to the original graphics as well. So it's really cool. I've yet to play it on the PS4, but I have been playing on the Switch, and yeah, it's a good game. I haven't really gone too deep into it yet, but it's a fun game. It's a real shame it never came out originally in the UK. I definitely would have grabbed it, but yeah, just a nice one to get from Limited Run. And another game here, I believe I did pick this up from Limited Run as well, and that is the Rumblefish II. I don't remember if I've shown this in the previous video or not. I couldn't remember because it was so long ago now. But yeah, this is another 2D fighting game based on a series that initially started out on the Japanese PlayStation 2, never came out over here. So you know, I like my 2D fighters, so you know, I wanted to give this one a shot as well. And here's one that I'm not sure if I've shown this in the video or not, but F it, I'll show it now. And that is, what's it called again? It just says, I'm sure you guys know its proper name, but it's just got it down here as Destiny. I've got it sealed, not played it yet. I hear it's a very good shooter. It's a vertical shooter. So I've heard good things about this game. I've had it for a while. Not had a chance to give it a go yet, but yeah, I also have that. I'm pretty sure I might have shown this in the previous video, so I'm not too sure. Moving on, guys, to PlayStation 5 here. Yeah, I've built up a little bit of a collection here. Just been planning, like I say, been planning to buy. Just been waiting for a few sales. I picked up some of these games on sales, so I thought I'd grab them while I could. First game I've got here is Cyberpunk 2077. Got this on a sale. I've just heard a lot of good things about the PlayStation 5 version of this game. I'm very big on like cyberpunk stuff, very futuristic Blade Runner style, and I hear this game is very good. I've been meaning to get it. I was going to get it on PS4, but because the PS4 version initially was very buggy and had a lot of issues with it, I sort of stayed away. It's since all been fixed apparently, but I hear the PlayStation 5 version runs a lot smoother, looks better and stuff, so I'm looking forward to giving that one a go. Next one I got here is Sandland, and this is a game that, again, I picked it up on a sale, and it's based on an anime from Akira Toriyama, who was the creator of Dragon Ball Z. And I've actually been watching this anime. It's actually available to watch on Disney Plus. And I've been really enjoying it. So this game is pretty much what appears to me like an open world sort of game. Like it reminds me a lot of the Mad Max game that came out on PS4. So I'm hoping it's going to be like that, but with obviously a more anime aesthetic. I really like the world of the game, so I'm looking forward to giving this one a go. I was waiting for a price drop, so when it did, I snapped it up. Next game I got here is RoboCop. Had to pick this up. Basically, I enjoyed the game Terminator. Terminator? What was it called? Terminator Resistance. That's what it was called. Terminator Resistance. And the developers, and I really enjoyed what it is. It's not a big budget game. You know, it's not a visually impressive game, but the developers clearly had a lot of love for Terminator. And from what I've heard, they clearly have a lot of love for RoboCop as well, because I've heard this game is pretty decent. It's a first-person action game, and I'm looking forward to it because I am a huge RoboCop fan. I love RoboCop, and from everything I've heard, this game does it justice, so I'm looking forward to giving it a go. And this game here was actually inspired by Gibbs84. He was the one that recommended this game to me. I have heard, like I say, good things about it, and that is Returnal. So I don't know much about this game except from some of the footage I've seen, but Gordon swears by this game, so I thought I would give it a chance. And this is a full-on PlayStation exclusive, so yeah, looking forward to giving that one a go. Next one I have here is Slave 0X. Again, I got this on a sale, been meaning to pick this up. This actually was a game I was originally going to get on the Switch, but I'd heard the Switch has some issues, so I decided to get it on PS5 instead. This is a very, very good game. I actually really enjoy it. It's a 2.5D beat 'em up. So you're basically fighting on a single plane, but the camera sort of shifts around. And but otherwise it's a beat 'em up, and it's a very fun one. And I think if you like beat 'em ups, this is probably one you should take a look at. Again, it's not expensive. You can get it on the Switch as well. Yeah, I just think it's a very cool, neat little game. A great visual style. Like I have to say, the graphics on this game are fantastic. Some of the best like 2D sprite work I've seen in a long time. Honestly, just amazing sprite work. I love the details of the characters. It's you're basically like a guy in like a mech suit, and you're fighting all these other mechs. But it's like I say, it's in a 2.5D plane, so it's interesting. Yeah, definitely a very, very cool one. You can pull off a lot of moves. It's quite challenging as well, but you can, if you persevere, you can get through it. I've not completed it yet, but I've put some time into it. A very, very cool game. Next one I got here, and I bought the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection. I'm a huge Uncharted fan, really. Like, this probably wasn't needed, as I've played these games now back to front billions of times. But this was on a sale. I actually got this for like 15 quid. I think it was less than that, probably. So this has Uncharted 4 and the DLC, The Lost Legacy. You know, both amazing games. This does have some improvements, so I'm not too sure if there's much of a drastic change, but for 15 quid, I just thought I'd pick it up. Next one I've got here is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Again, this was one I was originally going to get on the Switch, but I just saw this game for a good price. I saw it on sale, so I grabbed it for that. This is a Metroid Venia, 2D Metroid Venia game. I have played the demo of it on the Switch. I quite enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to giving this one a go. And finally, I also picked up this limited edition version of Blazing Strike. And this is a 2D fighting game. This is an indie game that I believe was actually created by one person. And funnily enough, I was actually the developer of this game. I actually followed him on Twitter for a long time, because I remember he was posting up a lot of the character sprites that he was working on for this game. And it looks like Numskull Games has picked up the distribution rights for it. And I have played a little bit of it. It's a lot of fun. But I haven't spent too much time with it, although it has been getting a lot of mixed opinions. It seems that a lot of the characters are very unbalanced. The story mode is a bit too long. You can't save within the story mode, so if you don't play it through, you'll have to start all over again. So I've heard a lot of issues like that. The game itself plays great. I love the character designs. They're awesome. So yeah, I was actually very glad to get this. But like, I'm hoping they do a few updates on it, improve it a little bit more. But it's still a very cool one to get. And actually, I was very lucky to get this one for the price that I paid for it. I actually paid 30 quid for this limited edition. Amazon had it for 30 quid for like a very brief moment. It must have been an error because they changed it very quickly. But I grabbed it for that price. But otherwise, it retails for about 50 quid. And the standard edition, it was weird because they had this for 30 and the standard edition was selling for 35. So I sort of knew it was an error, but I just bought it anyway and hoped for the best. And sure enough, it showed up. So I was very, very lucky to grab this. It has a soundtrack CD and I believe an art book as well. So yeah, very, very cool game. This is definitely appeals to me. It has that 2D sprite work in this that I do enjoy. I love this modern day sprites. It very much looks like a Neo Geo game. I think the comparable game that it reminds me of is like something like Rage of the Dragon. It kind of reminds me of that. So yeah, really, really cool to get this one as well. So that is it, guys. That is my PlayStation pickups. The next video will either be a Blu-ray pickups vid or it'll be a Switch pickups vid. It'll be one of the two coming down the line. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I won't keep you any longer. Please let me know what you thought of the games I've picked up here. Is there any games that you've got, any games that interest you? Please let me know in the comments down below. And of course, leave a like. It's always much appreciated when people do that as well. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.